This is Donae'o, see me, Donae'o, yeah. And right about now, you're watching Media Spotlight UK. Mami no le, Missy Mami no like. Donae'o, Donae'o, eh.
I was going to say, you alright?
Good man, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Now, I want to talk about Party Hard because Party Hard to me is the track that set off for UK Funky. You are the guy that made it pop off on a big tip. Now, it was actually my mum that introduced me to that track. Now, she was in the market a couple of years ago and just doing normal shopping. And while she was in the market, she heard a Party Hard. And when she came out, she said, "Oh, you got to check this track out. You got to check this track out." And my mum's old school. My mum's proper old school, so she doesn't really listen to a lot of funky that tough. She does old school house, but not so much of funky. Did you think that Party Hard was going to be the track that would set things off for you for your career?
No, I knew it was a big song, but I didn't know that it was gonna blow up that big. I mean, things were kind of popping off before with Devil in a Blue Dress and African Warrior, but Party Hard took things worldwide.
Yeah. You also had an interesting career and your life, so to speak. And I've been doing some research, and you actually went to Ghana as a kid years ago.
Yeah.
And you was in the process of rebuilding yourself. So for the benefit of our audience, tell us briefly of where you was at that point and how it got you to the person we see today as Donea'o.
My mum moved me and my sister to Ghana. We lived there for about a year.
Yeah.
This was like 8 years old. Do you know what I mean? So it was just one of those stories. I can't even remember why we moved, but I remember we did move, and it was a point where we were going to live there, and then we obviously had to come back to England, and then the rest of the stories, I'm just here now. It did give me a different aspect of life, and you know, I came back smarter, book smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Were you always the geek in school?
No, like I've got ADHD, and I had ADHD when they didn't like. They couldn't diagnose it then. I was just a hyperactive kid, like really hyperactive. And
Well, you seem quite calm today, like you're on a chill vibe, so I couldn't really imagine you. Like, even when I first met you, you didn't seem that hyperactive then.
yeah, but I'm a grown man, so I know, you know what it is? I know who I am,
Yeah.
and I'm aware of how my actions affect other people. So even though I might feel excited inside, I also know, it's you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to know when to be yourself, and sometimes you have to know when to be formal, you know. And because I had ADHD, I had concentration problems.
Yeah.
And the teachers in my schools, fuck you very much, didn't apart from Miss Fernyhill, I got love for Miss Fernyhill.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. They just thought I was just some crazy kid, and they never really spent time educating me, and I always used to sit on the carpet a lot when I was younger. I never really had any like attention from the teachers, you know. And I never really had any friends in school as well, because I was just a different kid. So when my mum took me to Ghana, like, my mum's always had faith in me.
Yeah.
My mum never accepted he's dyslexic or he's dumb. She's never accepted that. She always was like, there's got to be something wrong with the school system. So when my mum took me to Ghana, she paid for me to have a tutor after school. Now, I'm 8 years old, so when you're 8, you're kind of aware, you're growing your personality now. You understand, you talk back to your parents, you know you're talking back to your parents,
Yeah,
and they know that you're going to get licks for, you know what I mean? You're growing.
Ones. Yeah.
And my mum paid for a tutor to look after me, and she was like, look, I don't believe my son is stupid. Can you please teach him and bring him up to a level? So when I got the tutor was like, right, we're going to start from beginning.
Right.
So you're going to start from 0 times 0, 0 add 0, 0 minus 0.
Whoa, that's levels there.
That's levels.
That is levels.
So
when you
now
know you get into that, that's wow.
So that's when
something else.
And now obviously, again, you're 8 years old. You're aware how embarrassing that is.
Yeah.
Do you understand where I'm coming from? It was embarrassing. I was upset, crying for like weeks. I was like, wow, Mum, why are you making me do this? Not realizing that what the teacher was doing was he was getting rid of all the bad education I was getting from England. And he was retraining my brain. So obviously, you're 8, you fight everything. You're embarrassed, you're ashamed, you're in a new country you didn't want to be in. Do you know what I mean? Like, you fight everything. When I came back at 9 years old, I was writing calligraphy when kids were still learning how to say G.
And just write your basic handwriting.
Yeah,
as well.
I could write calligraphy. I could do algebra. It was getting to the point where I was annoying my teachers to the point where they called my dad in and said, look, your son is he keeps interrupting the classes, like we need him to calm down. And it wasn't even like they were like, look, he needs to be in a higher class or da 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 da. You know what I mean? And my dad was like, look, if you guys can't, you're telling me my son's too clever for the fucking class. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like that experience taught me that sometimes if you're doing things over and over again and it's not working, sometimes you need to start from zero, no matter how embarrassing it can be, because taking 2 steps back can help you take 10 steps forward.
Gotcha.
And that was probably like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You know, and like when I was living in Ghana, we didn't live in a poor house. We lived in a rich house. Well, not a rich house. We lived in a working class house. You know, like Ghana isn't like what you see on the fucking TV and shit.
You were living well.
We were living okay. Like, and then when you're living in places like that, it's almost like the social environment is a lot safer. You can be out till late. Like there used to be this mud near my school, right? It's clay mud. And we would just go there, get the mud, because it's really clay. But you could grow stuff in it, but it was clay. And we would play with that. Do you know what I mean? We'd get these long leaves, and we would have like gunfights with the leaves, because if you clip the leaf a certain way, and you hold it, and you flick it, it flies like a bullet. So it's like you became inventive, and you're more sociable. You're more around people. You're hanging out with cousins. You're not worried about things. If any, I remember like thieving and stuff like that. It was unheard of. One kid tried to steal a goat from one of my neighbours. The whole town came out and fucked him up. Cutlasses and everything. The police had to come and collect him. Yeah. So it's like it just taught me, like, being in Africa, it made me a bit more comfortable with myself. Do you know what I mean? Because everybody out there has a wide and beautiful personality.
I wanted to talk about like some of the struggles that you've had in terms of some of the platforms you've been under. Like, years ago when grime started out, you were good on that level, and then when that started to come down a bit, like other genres were taking over. You had like bassline, then you come into UK funky, then you've gone into house. How have you been able to keep relevant in a sense where where all the genres were falling down, you still maintain that level of, say, look, I'm still here? And why dance? Why dance with the route for you?
Okay, I'm a natural person.
Okay.
So it's more of a thing where if I start listening to it, then I want to make it, if I want to be honest with you. So I was going garage raves. I wanted to make garage. I made garage. When garage kind of was on a decline and grime was coming through, I was going to grime raves. And I wanted to make grime. I kind of helped start grime with bounce and instrumental and falling and all of that sort of stuff. So like I was at the beginning of that. So then after that, bassline came through when grime was going through its transformation. I started going to those raves, so I wanted to make that. Because remember, there was loads of things. Dubstep was happening. I didn't get into dubstep until later.
No.
And then after bassline, funky came through. I was raving to funky every week. Pioneer, Super D, Genius, Kismet, like those are the original pioneers. I would say I'm like the second wave of funky guys, but those guys were the guys that inspired me to make funky to their raves. You know what I mean? And then like when it came to house, it's the same things. Like searching for I naturally search for what's new, and what ends up happening is a new sound will come. I'll like the sound. I'll embrace myself in the culture of it, and then before I know it, I'm making it. I don't force it. I always, do you know what I mean? It's just like when I was 6 years old, I heard rap for the first time. I was like, I want to do this. That's what I tried to do. So that's how I learned to make new music.
Awesome. Now, it's no secret that you've been working with so many different types of artists. Like, you've worked with so many. Like, I can go from Lethal Bizzle to Cleopatra to Sadoki to Bonkers to Fuse ODG. So many names in the scene overall. Who would you say has been your favourite collaboration thus far? And also, who do you see as the artist that has that it factor for 2015 and beyond?
I would say Lethal. Me and Lethal seem to have... we always seem to win when we decide to work together.
Yeah.
Like, and it always goes to another level.
Yeah.
Every time.
Two levels now.
Yeah. So it's like,
trust me,
we did Go Hard. That gave him a new kind of image, a new direction. Then we did Not a Saint.
Yeah.
and that
Sick
went
track, by
top
the way.
20. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then we did I Don't Play, which the Section Boys jumped on, and that was like a good, credible record. It seems like we always kind of push boundaries, and I also feel like he has to be, for me, the artist of 2015, because me and him are from the same era where you have to learn to rebrand yourself, and I think this new reoccurrence of the Lethal Bizzle brand is probably the biggest that he's pushed it to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With using his brand to now push another brand, which is the clothing now, I just think, for me, he should be the artist of 2015, because he's used his power to now create another company that now has created jobs for people.
Nice.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And then like he can endorse other artists, and then he's got another label, so he's got now another business that's also going to also employ other people.
Well, all I'm gonna say is, like, for Lethal Bizzle, like, you're a sick guy. You got your stage ends, so sort me out a few bits. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan of yours as well. So, like, Donae'o, can you kind of endorse that?
Yeah. You
Sort me out.
heard him, innit, Leaf?
Trust me. I've got a few fan questions real quick. Now, one of them's coming up from Claire, resident from Media Spotlight UK. She firstly wanted to know, what is it that women do that get on your nerves? And bearing in mind, there is a woman in the room, so...
I don't like it when you have an argument with your girlfriend for no apparent reason.
Sure.
She pisses you off.
Yeah.
Now you're angry. She realizes that she's wrong, and then she apologizes to you and acts like you have to just forget it there and then after she's pissed you off.
I don't like that.
Like,
It will take a long time for me
yeah,
to get
it's
over
like you
that.
can't
Yeah,
expect
gotcha.
me to now
Yeah.
be cool just because you've decided, oh, I was wrong, please forgive me. No, you've been cussing me out for the last 3 hours or whatever, and like we've been having this big argument. Now you fucked up my day, yeah, and my evening. Now you're like, oh shit, maybe I was wrong, and then you want hugs and kisses. Like, fuck off, man. No.
One of them comes from Callum, and he says he wanted to know if the funky genre would return, and also would you go in a different genre away from funky or dance?
I always make different styles of music anyway, so I'm always gonna make different styles of music. My main focus right now is funky though. So for the next 2-3 singles, my main focus is funky, and Mami No Like is like the first.
Yeah. So Mami No Like, as I say, the new single
is
you
the
just
new
put
single, and then I'm gonna be
very,
concentrating
very,
on
very
the album.
much similar to the party hard vibe that you're going with.
And then after that, I'm gonna, work on the album. In regards to is funky gonna come back, everyone keeps asking me this question.
You're the pioneer of UK funky. So
I'm
that's
not
why
the
I have to ask
pioneer.
You
I'm
are,
just
though.
the face of it. The people called me the king, so thank you for that, and I'll accept that. But I'm one person. You can't expect a community of one. That even is a contradiction within itself. A community of one. I can't bring through funky. I can only, like I've got my show once a month with Cameo, and I bring through new funky tunes there and then. But I can't be the only one doing that. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be other people that need to get involved. So in regards to can funky come back, it needs two things. The producers need to make the music, and the fans need to endorse it.
All right, quick game before we wrap it up. So I just want to get to know you as Donae'o. Just there's certain things that you may
Pause.
I don't. Okay, so which do you prefer? African ladies or West Indian ladies?
I'm half African and half West Indian, so I like both.
I figured that.
I like both.
Are you like not one that tops over the other?
No, because I'm half. I'm half and half.
So both of them.
Yeah.
So not one that kind of swings the way it's like.
No,
one day I feel in that,
I'm both. I've been with Africa. I've fallen in love with African women. I've fallen in love with West Indian women.
Okay, cool. Bum or breasts?
Breasts.
Okay. Nightcrawlers or Tina Moore?
Tina Moore.
Okay. MJ Cole or New Birth?
Who's New Birth?
They did like it was one famous track that was on a Pure Garage mix years ago. I thought you would have known that your garage, man. That's what I thought I'd ask.
I'll say New Birth.
Okay. R4 Dodger or So Solid Crew?
Oh.
I had to get you there.
All right. Mark. Because I've done tunes with Mark. Don't feel insulted. It's by like a small bit.
Okay.
But So Solid Crew.
Okay. To be with a devil in a blue dress or be known as an African warrior?
To be known as African warrior.
Straight to the point. African warrior, Donae'o, he's here. Donae'o, thank you so much for taking part for Media Spotlight UK. If you can tell our audience where they can catch you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the works, man, you know the deal.
Yeah, just follow me on everything's Donae'o or Donae'o Music. So Twitter and Instagram's follow me, search for Donae'o. Snapchat and Facebook is Donae'o Music. And then my new single is Mami No Like.
Mami No Like, make sure you go crop that out.
Video's out now.
Yeah, video's out now. Make sure you go watch that. Sick video, by the way.
Thanks.
Awesome. This has been Media Spotlight UK, J Billz with my man Donae'o.
Bizzle.
Done'o. And we're out of here.